Hello everybody, thank you for joining me. I'm feeling like I want to make a little video on some home education, unschooling related stuff. So I thought I have some space now to do that through on one of my Mondays, and I would just drop in a little bit of wisdom that's come up in the last few days. So I have 3 girls, for anyone who doesn't know. If you're new to my channel and you've not watched any videos yet, if you just stumbled across this video, then yeah, I have 3 daughters, 2 teenagers and 1 not quite 10. We have always home educated, always unschooled. I kind of fell into it by being an intuitive mum. I guess if you wanted to label my parenting style when I had my first, or my first 2, as there's only like 90 months between them, I guess I fell into the categories of attachment parenting back then. Unconditional parenting, I think, is another label that was stuck on it. I hate labels. And on from there, sort of, now I think there's the conscious parenting label. I don't like the word parenting for all sorts of other reasons that I might go into on this channel sometime. So I call it like conscious mothering or conscious fathering if you happen to be the father. Most of my audience are mums, so we call it conscious mothering or conscious fathering. And that is, I guess fathering isn't like, that's interesting, isn't it? Tangent, but we always think of fathering as being the like producing of the offspring, the planting of the seed, rather than the continual nurturing, whereas mothering is seen as a continuing process. Very interesting little thought that just popped up as I was like defining the two there. Very interesting. Yes, so that's been my style of being a mum since I had my first. She is 15, and I sort of, I guess, fell into a more attached style of parenting, of mumming, because certain things that I chose. So I always knew I was going to breastfeed because that was normalised for me when I was growing up. My sister was a breastfeeding mum. I was 8 when she had her first baby, and I just saw that then around me, and there was other people within close circles that breastfed. I was formula fed, so like it was a little bit strange because I knew that I had been formula fed, bottle fed. There were reasons why my mum did that weren't necessarily what she wanted to do, which was when I became a bit of a breastfeeding advocate, a bit of a lactivist type of thing. And from that then evolved certain things that you end up doing often when you're breastfeeding, feeding to sleep, but hearing people saying, don't feed them to sleep because they'll never sleep. Don't let them in your own bed because they'll never go in their own bed. Okay. Enough with the funny voices. But I did these things that were deemed like inadvisable because they'll never be confident, or they'll never leave your side, or they'll be too attached. What I've learned since now they're 15, 13 and 9 is there's a lot more to a confident young one, a confident toddler, a confident preschooler, a confident tween. There's a lot more to confident young ones than whether they were breastfed, whether they fed to sleep, whether you carried them in a baby carrier, whether you left them to cry, whether you did other things. Now, I am not going to sit here ever and advocate Less attached styles of parenting. I am an advocate for intuitive mothering. I am an advocate for being intuitively led in your life. I'm an intuitive healer. I'm an intuitive. I'm like, teach people all the time how to tap into their inner knowing and their inner being. And most mums who fall into these, like, leave them to cry, don't look at them when they wake up during the night, actually, when you talk to them, they're actually going against their intuition. They know there's something wrong with leaving their baby to cry. Many mums who do leave their babies to cry are sat crying themselves outside the door because they know it's wrong. But someone in a book somewhere, or their health visitor, or, you know, a grandparent told them that's what they should do, and they're doing it. And it's like, listen to your intuition. So, but what I found as my journey as a mum has gone on is that there's a lot more to what creates attachment than just what you did when they were very, very small. A lot more. And as an intuitive healer, as a holistic therapist, as an emotional health practitioner, like, there is a lot more that goes back way deeper than what you're doing with your babies. However, there is an element of that in it. So what I've learned and what I'm here to just tap on and tap into and talk about today is listening to them as they grow, and learning to take their feelings, their thoughts, their emotions, and their opinions when they're teenagers into consideration. And this came from, like, my own experience at the moment with trying to organise things at home and get, like, a little bit of order in what has become quite chaotic at home since some moving around of the house and all the rooms and all the sleeping arrangements and everything towards the end of last year. And here we are nearly halfway through this year, and things are still a little bit more chaotic than I'm comfortable with. And it's like, how can I, whilst building my livelihood and creating and spending more time here doing what I do as a holistic therapist and creating content for Indigo Sky Holistic, but also wanting my home or looking for my home to become more organised, clearer, tidier, and a more peaceful and calm place for me to go back to when I return home. And as it happened, someone was asking about, like, how do you get your young people to do X, Y, Z if they don't do it? What's like, do I take things off them? Do I punish them? Do I this? Do I that? And it's like, and it's a recurring thing that comes up within home education groups too, particularly within unschooling groups of, like, you know, they won't do X, Y, Z. How do I make them? I'm like, well, none of the language around making them or restricting or anything like that sits well with me as an intuitive. Maybe because I'm also manifesting within my human design, and nobody has ever been able to make me do anything ever well. They may have tried, and I may have, like, yeah, I'll do that, and then not done it. Or done a half-assed job because I'm being made to do something. It's like, For me, a big key to everything that I've ever done always is communication. Always. Like, it's how I right back from when I first met my husband, and we were like, there was flaws and issues with our relationship. It would be like, you know, was always communication. If there was a breakdown of some sort, it was because somebody somewhere wasn't communicating. Along many years on, and I'm not saying our communication skills are perfect. We still, as a couple, actually communicate quite badly sometimes. However, we know that and we're aware of that. And when we do communicate, and again, sometimes it's the having of the babies and the growing of the offspring and the family life that catches you out of not communicating. And then that's why many relationships break down, because there's a lack of communication, particularly after people have had babies and are growing the family, which is sad, because once you committed to growing young people together, to then have a relationship breakdown, it would be nicer and easier to either have a knowing beforehand of how communication works, or be able to save and salvage aspects, even if there has to be an end to the romantic relationship that created the babies and the offspring, that you can then have a conscious uncoupling and a conscious separation, so that you are still partners with your young people in mind. And that again is down to being good communicators. So communicating with our young people when we wish for them or require them to do things. So I spoke to my 13-year-old, who's so amazing at thinking outside the box, and I was like, what's your solution? And she was like, if I had children now, not that I'm going to have children at 13, but if I was having children in the world as it is right now, I would. And her wisdom was so profound. I shared it, and I will have to share it, and I'm like, gonna put that in a video too. And if it helps someone, amazing. I'm going to try it at home myself. Maybe not with a 15-year-old, because she's actually pretty good. My eldest, for everything, is actually pretty good at having bursts of, I'm going to organise my room, and I'm going to tidy up, and I'm going to do all this, and I'm going to do all that, and wanting to do more. She's aware that when she doesn't put her laundry in the laundry basket for 6 months, if she then brings it down and puts it on the laundry basket, I get a little bit mad. I get a little bit irritated. I'm like, that is way too much washing. I'm like, I thought I was doing really well with the washing, and now I have a year's worth of washing to do. And I'm like, yeah, she knows that. So she actually was like, teach me how to use a washing machine. Which means that if she does want things washing now, she is quite capable of doing it for herself. So, I might not include her in this little experiment offered by the 13-year-old. So the suggestion was, and I'm like, yeah, this is a good idea, because we often end up telling our young people what they should do and how they should do it, not letting any input in it, because we're quite set in our ways. We're grown-ups. We were told how to do it, we're going to tell you how to do it. A lot of patterns that we do as adults are perpetuated from what we were told when we were growing up, or how we were treated when we were growing up. This is the thing with teenagers. It's a lot of us end up getting to adulthood, having teenage young people to care for, and being like, nobody taught us how to look after these. What are these? I love teenagers. Teenagers are awesome. They're so full of wisdom that we neglect to take into account, because they're teenagers and they're all full of themselves and they think they know everything, and actually, well, they're pretty smart. Her wisdom was, if she had children now, if she had babies now, if she was growing a family now, would be with the tasks, household chores, if there are chores that want to be done, is to take one chore that you wish to have them do and teach them thoroughly mirroring, which is a concept used within people who have what might be termed ADHD traits. without going off on a tangent to that as well. Any sort of like neuromagical tendencies of overwhelm or liking the chaos because we function well in the chaos and because we know where stuff is when it's in the chaos. When it's organised by somebody else, we might then not know where all of our stuff is that we want to use to do the things that we want to do and all of that stuff. I think sometimes we thrive a little bit in chaos. To take just one singular chore, one singular household task. Don't really like the word chore. Don't like the word chore, don't like the word job. Let's look for a better word. One singular household task that needs to be done. Cleaning process, organising, tidying, whatever. And thoroughly teach them for the first week how to do it with mirroring. With like, this is how we're going to do it, and this is the practice that we do. This is how I do it. This is how I've done it for however many years I've done it. This is how grandma used to do it. This is why we do it this way. Maybe get a little bit of insight from them because they might actually have a smart idea that saves you a load of time that you've never thought of because you're still doing it how great grandma Auntie Pat used to do it. Like, great grandma Auntie Pat, yeah. Don't even know who she is. And like work together. Like do the task together with some mirroring, with some instruction, without something that I learned by the time I had my third, telling them how to do it if they're doing it wrong. That's a big one. If you've got little ones, side note, if you have little ones and they want to help you around the house, just let them. If I'd have known this when I had my first, we'd maybe not have the chaotic moments in the chaotic bedroom that she has, because she would never have been told off when she helped. And I was like, that's not helping, that's making more mess. As mothers, we often do. By the time I had my third, and I realised that when she was taking stuff off the laundry area that I was putting on there, or putting them on all wrong, or putting dry things on, I can't remember what she was doing now, but she was doing something with the laundry that was opposite of what I wanted to do. And I was about to tell her off, and I was like, oh, she's doing something. Hold on a minute, she's doing something. Just wait, hold off, don't put her off, don't scare her away, because she's helping you. And she, at 9, as my youngest, is the one who's doesn't need telling multiple times to do something. Okay, she's slightly different in all of her like energy than the other two. But also there was this different way that I did things with her when she was helping me. I allowed her to help me, even if it was a little bit chaotic, even if it was slow and laborious, even if it was the wrong order. I would allow her that space. I would hold myself back, not say a word. I'd keep doing what I was doing and let her do what she was doing, and then show her and which is exactly what my 13-year-old is now saying to do, and just allow by showing. And for a lot of how I encourage parenting to be done, mothering to be done, is through action, through what you do. How you are as an adult, no matter what you say, is how your young people are going to be. Like, I remember being told this, like, doesn't matter what you say, they'll do what you do, and thinking it was a bit like, yeah, whatever. And then when I look back and it's like, no, I did what my mum and dad did, no matter what they told me to do. Like, I would speak how my mum spoke, and the way that words come out of my mouth even now, that I'm like, that's my mum. That's not me. That's literally my mum speaking. That's not me. What do I think? How do I feel? What's my thoughts on it? So, show them a task. Show them what to do. Allow them. Redirect if they're off pieced, off track, off not quite doing it right, mirror them, do the thing along with them, encourage them to do it, and keep it to one thing at a time. So for a lot of us, like, and I don't actually think this is a neurodivergence thing. I think this is just a young people thing. Whatever their age, they're either too young to do many things because they're little and their brains are like little, or teenagers whose whole body is transforming in a very short period of time, just like when they were very small, and they need the time to just do one thing at a time. And once they've done that and spent a whole month doing that just from a neurological point of view is imprinting the brain with how a task works, with how the process that you're wanting them to do works. If they're doing it consistently every day, or every other day, or sort of like 4 days out of 7, whatever, if they're doing these things consistently, then that pattern is being programmed into the neural pathways. So then the next month, they might move on to another task. You might teach them another household thing to do. But because they've done this one now consistently for 28, 30 days, oh look, they can then start this one, but this one doesn't go away. And this is really good for us too, as grown-ups. Let's face it. Like, if it's really good for them to repeatedly do the same job, the same task, the same things over and over again, it's actually really beneficial for us too. If you've got many children, if you've got more than one, you can give them all something different to do. Support them all. At the end of the day, most of us as mums or dads are doing many of the household tasks through the day and through the week. They only have to focus on one, because after all, we're talking about a household running in some sort of in some sort of order, and that's beneficial for the whole household. Ask them what they'd like to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, these are the things that need doing, that I'm interested in having done in the house. What do you want to do? And that is all you have to do. Set a time where it's done together with you, because remember, for at least a week you're doing it with them. Take the time out of the day to do it. Set it into a schedule of some sort. If you don't like schedules, just, right, when we get up, when everybody's up, when we've had breakfast, this is when we do this. When I get back from work, when I get back from the office, when I get home from whatever, when you get home from school, this is what we do. And stick to it. And encourage them to stick to it, but help them. Because the key for me, and from what I know from like my husband growing up as well, was when the grown-ups stopped doing the thing they expected the young people to do, that was when the young people wanted to stop it too. Because remember, they're just doing what we do. So if we get like, me, I'm not helping with this job anymore. No, I don't want to do this job anymore. They're going to be like, well, what's the point then? They don't want to do it. And then, no, I get it. Like, we all hate household tasks. There's going to be something that all of us hate around the house. The chances are they might actually like one thing, and when they do this of like, right, well, this month we're doing this and this month we're doing that, and if you like that organised, that you want to like actually plan out the whole year or 6 months in front, brilliant. Because what you might find is there's actually one thing that they then like, wow, I actually love doing this. This is it. This is what I want to do. And that is what they want to do. That's one less thing you have to do as the mum or dad, as the grown up in the house. That's one thing less you have to do of the many, many things that we have to do. And that is going to be amazing. It's just going to be, wow, okay. And that's it. So that's what I'm going to do from the next new moon, because we work in lunar cycle basis in our house, she says. I don't wait till the calendar month anyway. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to over the next few days talk to particularly the 13-year-old about what I want done, what needs to be done, what's a priority to create more space for us all in the house, because at the moment their bedroom, the 13-9-year-old's bedroom, is the one that's most chaotic. That then will help them, so that I can move furniture that's in there that might not want to stay in there. I can give us more space in our bedroom. I can reorganise and move things around a bit more within the whole house, and maybe tidy up a little too, because that's the big thing. As an unschooling family, where both partners are also self-employed, it's like, yeah, who else? Everybody's at home all the time. House is in chaos, and it's been a perpetual state of chaos for too long. And part of, I guess this is the part of my journey now, my own inner healing journey that I've been on, that I'm ready to move through, is the home chaos part of the journey. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. Please do comment, like, subscribe, do all those juicy things that wherever I am YouTube likes. And yeah, I'll share this as we go on into next month, as we hit the new moon, which is, it's early in June, isn't it? As we hit the new moon in June, I will share here on YouTube and on like Instagram and stuff what the plan is. And yeah, if you're joining in, maybe it'll become a little bit of a thing, and that'll be kind of fun. We'll see. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.